All right, everybody, so we're going to be working on a guard pass starting from the closed guard. So my partner's going to have me in the closed guard, and just a couple things that I want to talk about while you're in the closed guard is proper position, good posture. I want to make sure that I'm not leaning forward too far or leaning back too far. Either one can be trouble. If I'm leaning forward and I make a mistake, there's an easy arm bar that can happen, or a triangle choke. If I'm leaning too far back, a simple hip bump will seal the deal and I'll get swept. So I want to make sure that, number one, I have good posture. I'm rounding my back, rolling my shoulders here, really focused on just putting pressure on my partner's feet or my opponent's feet. Second thing I want to do is I want to squeeze my knees together and kind of take away their ability to bring their hips down. She's still able to bring her hips up, but she can't bring her hips down all the way to the mat, okay? Unless I put them there. The third thing I want to do is control the center here. A lot of people like to control with the belt. I've got no problem with that, but the problem is if the belt is a little high, it automatically leans you forward. I like to grab the pants right below the pant strings and I'll pin her hips to the mat here. So I'm squeezing with my knees, pinning the hips to the mat, rounding my back, rolling my shoulders, and now when she goes to pull, I'm really heavy here. My partner's probably going to be going double sleeve control, which is very common. She might go collar sleeve, but because I'm postured so far back, it may not be a good option, so she's going to go double sleeve in this scenario. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by taking my knees that are like maybe 30 to 45 degree angles, and I'm going to switch that position here. So my knees are pointed here. I'm going to switch it over so that it maintains the same angle, but I'm in a different position, okay? Forcing one knee towards my opponent's center and the other knee towards the outside. We're only focused on putting pressure on the feet so that the guard opens. So I'm going to start working myself backwards towards the back wall and then working that knee towards the center here. Now, once I have a pretty decent angle, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I have to have my knee towards the center. I'm going to drop my body weight towards my back foot, putting pressure on the feet and opening up the guard. So now she's going to start playing. She's got double sleeve and she's going to put her feet on the hips. My knee, that one that's in the center, is going to come up here, and I'm going to start controlling the legs here at the knees, at the pant legs. I use this to bring my elbows into play and get her feet off of my hips here, okay? Now from here, I'm going to take my hand that's on the knee on this side because I have my left knee up. I'm going to pass towards her left side. So I'm going to pin this knee to the mat, and then I'm going to transfer this hand, my left hand, down to her hip, and I'm going to push, step over her foot, and get into a knee cut pass position, okay? Now, when I'm in a knee cut pass position, I want to make sure that my elbow is glued to my hip. If the elbow isn't glued to the hip, she can bring her, she can go under, get into a dogfight position, she can bring her knee shield in, she can do all kinds of stuff. The other thing I want to do is make sure that I'm pinning both the knee on one side and the hip on the other. I want to push those away from each other. The reason I do that is if I'm passive with my grips here, she can bring that foot around, bring that foot, put on my shoulder. She has good dexterity with that foot, she can push me away. But if I pin that hip, if I slide into the pocket as we call it, she tries to bring that leg over, it's going to be really difficult with that hip pinned. Again, hip not pinned, hip pinned. Very big difference. So now from here, really all she can do is as I drive my knee forward is to post her hands and push me away. So I'm going to grab the sleeve that's on the farthest side of her body here, and I'm going to pull up. My elbow is going to come around her leg here. I'm going to cup her back, and I'm going to slide my leg through in a baseball slide position. At this point, I don't have the right muscles in play here to be able to keep her arm up. She's going to be pulling with big back muscles, and she's going to be able to get that elbow here, okay? So the reason I bring that up is her spine is aligned. She's pushing and turning towards me. So as soon as I try to make that turn to recover or to go into side control at chest to chest, she's able to push away and get her knee in and recover. So in order to avoid that, I've got to get her spine going in two directions. A couple ways to do that. Number one is I push her arm across her body. Now when she turns towards me, her lower body is turning towards me, but her upper body is not. So as I go chest to chest, go ahead and recover, she's going to have a hard time recovering. The second method I use is I grab tricep here and I pull up. Now when she turns towards me, she can turn pretty easily, right? But I'm going to walk my hips back, pushing her legs away, and then I can get chest to chest as I scoop her knees either pointed straight up into the air or pointed away from me. And that's my knee cut pass from the closed guard position.